Hey guys, the Trout 91 here, and today I'm doing a custom class reveal of my 10 favorite custom classes for Modern Warfare 2. Some of you are probably thinking, why are you doing this now? Black Ops comes out in a month exactly yesterday, but I still constantly get messages saying, where is your custom class guide? Still constantly get messages asking me for what I think is a better choice between different guns, what my custom classes personally are, and they want to see that back. And as I said in previous videos, because no one seems to watch them anymore, those actually got deleted accidentally when I went to delete a failed upload, and I accidentally pressed all the most recent 20 videos and it deleted those, including some of my other videos. And I didn't want an incomplete series, so I just decided to scrap the whole lot, which in retrospective was probably a bad idea. I could have just done it again, although I was very lazy and pissed off at the time. So I thought I'd just make this. So without further ado, let's get on with it. My first custom class is my Air Support Takedown Kit. I personally recommend either putting the M4, the ACR, or the TAR-21 as your cold-blooded class. I tend to go with the M4 because the ACR, although it has a lot less recoil, it has basically none. The iron sights are nice on the ACR, but at a distance they kind of annoy me, and I feel like with the silencer the hit detection is a lot less flaky, especially with cold-blooded, and it takes a longer time to kill someone than it does the M4. I'm pretty sure it kills a tiny bit faster. I'm not too 100% sure on that. Someone will correct me if I'm wrong. The TAR-21 is great, has great power, and is good for this kit, but it doesn't have the accuracy of the M4 or the ACR, which is why I tend to go with the M4. It's kind of the one in the middle. The launcher I use to take down air support is usually the Javelin. The Stingers are great. I mean, they do the work. They're a lot less likely to not miss than the Javelin, but the thing with Javelin is it counts as 2 Stingers basically rather than 1, so if you want to save yourself some time, you can take down that chopper gunner or the Pavlo in one simple swift action of a Javelin. Otherwise, if it's something like an AC-130 which takes 3, you're going to have to get 2 Javelins, which is what the Scavenger Pro is for. This is also a well-rounded kit for cold-blooded play. If you do get into a situation where you run out of ammo for the primary, or you get into a situation where there's people at a distance, at least you've got that secondary that can do something. One other suggestion is possibly put a shotgun attachment on your cold-blooded class, because if you don't have a secondary, like I don't with this launcher setup, you're going to need something in case you run out of ammo in your magazine and you can't get the reload off unless you put sleight of hand on, which is always a good idea. But if you do miss one of those launchers, or you don't need an extra one, you can't get one unless you've got Scavenger Pro, which is why I usually go with it, and Ninja Pro and cold-blooded, just to get those challenges and whatever, and don't be seen by airsport. Okay. Second class I call the shotgun secondary class, which is one I usually just run around with on the fly. I just run around with a shotgun basically. I usually go with the MP5. I love the MP5. It's probably not the best choice of all the submachine guns, but I do love the MP5 a lot. I think it's the gun that kills the fastest in the game. That's not like damage or stuff like that. It's determined by the damage and the rate of fire it has, that it kills the fastest of any of the primary weapons. I think I'm correct in saying that, something along those lines. I then run around with a shotgun. It changes depending on my mood. It could be a SPAS 12, it could be the Model 1887s, it could be the Rangers. Very much dependent on how I'm feeling, and if I'm going with something like a Ranger setup, I'll go with the Marathon. Sometimes I like to switch it out for sleight of hand. I put sleight of hand on this setup because I know it's great with the SPAS 12, especially if you've got extended mags, and the MP5 is great with it. It's all very dependent, depends on the map. Like Favela, you saw my gameplay, I was using sleight of hand. Very good for that map because you don't need to run around, it's mostly all indoors. And a map like maybe Underpass, where you saw me go 70 plus kills, I was using Marathon, which is a good place to put Marathon on. Yeah, so I usually go with steady aim for the SPAS 12 secondary, so I avoid the hit markers, and the MP5K is brilliant with steady aim. My third setup is the RPD. You need something with a lot of power that can hit at distance with accuracy and take out lots of people, I suppose. It's one of those classes, if you're lagging or it's a hard game, I usually bring out the RPD because it's very consistent. It doesn't lose any damage at distance, so it's probably the best light machine gun on the game. In fact, it is the best light machine gun on the game, hands down for me. I usually go with steady aim for that added hip fire, especially with the Raffica secondary, which are very quick to bring out when you're using a light machine gun. That's one thing to consider when using secondaries on a light machine gun, is how quickly they pull out. And the Rafficas are amazingly good with steady aim at distance. It's like sniping people. I've shot people from many a distance with that thing. And sleight of hand gives me that increased ADS for both guns, and it's very easy to reload. People suggest one-man army, but I don't quite see the point in one-man army, because you could just literally switch out for anything. You wouldn't necessarily need the sleight of hand. I just don't personally see the point in one-man army, because you do lose your secondary, and to me it just doesn't seem that worth it. To be honest, it just seems like you're not really benefiting much, rather you're losing things, and the ADS is really key with Sleight of Hand Pro. So I would probably recommend Sleight of Hand Pro. It's up to you what you use. If you want to use a one-man army approach, if you're someone who doesn't move around a lot and likes to be able to have a backup plan, you know, by all means go for it. My fourth class I've started to use simply because of how much spam there is of explosives in Modern Warfare 2. It is a very good class. Some people think the Riot Shield and the Blast Shield are very pointless, but when you're playing as much domination as I am, it's a very good class. I would recommend the extended mags on the AA-12 as well, because I don't actually have it at the point where I'm showing this. I definitely recommend it. Marathon Lightweight just to get there, and Commando, if someone does come and approach you, you can just back them off with some Commando lunge. The only time I really endorse Commando is on the Riot Shield. There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, that thing's really unreliable, but at the same time, in the right situation, you can use it to your advantage, and it's quite reliable. I simply don't really think sorry, I don't think this class is one you want to use for a primary use. It's simply something for objective gameplay, like capping B in domination. It's especially effective when you get on maps like Invasion. You're trying to cap B, which is a very, very hard map to capture B on. I was playing yesterday where they were just literally sitting in their spawn and spamming noob tubes on it. You couldn't get near it. I literally just got this out with my blast shield on. Wedged myself in between the dumpster and the wall, so I literally had a blast shield and a riot shield, and they couldn't get through either one of them. So where the riot shield might fail, the blast shield will pick up the slack. So you're pretty much invincible when it comes to capping a flag, and then you can just either try and get yourself killed so you can switch out again, or you could go with a one-man army approach if you don't mind losing your secondary and switching out straight away. You know, it's a good tactic, one-man army, if you're using it for the purpose it was intended, rather than the cunt trick that I like to call it, the noob tube spam, whatever. The next class is my FAMAS class. I've had different tastes in my semi-automatic gun. Which one, the FAMAS or the M16? It's very much dependent on how you play. I mean, the FAMAS has a faster rate of fire, but the M16 in general, for me, with the holographic, is a lot more accurate, and it feels a lot more powerful and consistent. I quite like the FAMAS, though. I've grown attached to it recently with the holographic. It very much depends in the mood I am. The good thing about the FAMAS is it's unlocked straight away, so I don't have to worry about getting to level 40 for the M16 and having to wait to get the holographic. So I usually go with the FAMAS now. Sleight of hand is very, very key, simply because the reason the FAMAS and the M16 are a one burst kill. If you land the burst, you're going to get the kill. With stopping power, it ensures you get it anywhere on the body. But the reason why people experience hit mark is because they're not landing all 3 bullets in the one burst. And the reason I use sleight of hand is simply to avoid that. With sleight of hand, when most natural people when they play, they pull the trigger as they're aiming in. Now with Sleight of Hand Pro, you can get in before you've actually pulled the trigger, which is the beautiful thing. So you can get that burst off and land all 3 bullets instead of wasting time and effort and bullets just to get a hit marker and then finish them off afterwards, by which time you could be dead, so you might not even get that second burst. And I usually go with the close range USP secondaries because they're so much faster to switch out to, and they're very good at close range. Maybe want to try steady aim because sometimes the USPs are not that great at a medium to long range, so I would be careful with those. My next class is the UMP Marathon Lightweight standard setup. I will sometimes switch out the ranges for the RPG if I'm getting the spawn kill on Favelo. If you're on a task force spawn, you run straight down to C to get that spawn kill. If you're playing on Karachi and you're playing as the Marines and you run all the way to A, I think it is, and you get the spawn RPG that you see me do a couple of times, you see most people do. So it's always good. It's also pretty good having around just in general play, because if someone's on the flag you can just shoot an RPG if you can't quite see them and get a cheeky kill. The ranges I quite like if I'm playing maybe team deathmatch, good to run around with, good for close ranges. It's very standard stuff. You could probably switch the UMP for something else. I mean, the UMP, this basic UMP class is on the default first recon class, so sometimes I'm not always going to put the UMP on. I'll maybe put the P90 on, or the Vector, or or the Mini Uzi even. I quite like that with Marathon Lightweight. Or I might just use this UMP class with Cold Blooded. That's a real favourite of mine. That is a real, true, genuine, all-around ghost class. Good for every situation. The next class is the TAR-21. Now, I differ between Scavenger and Marathon. It depends on how well I'm playing, or what the map is, or how I intend to play. I found Marathon's very good, especially with FMJ, because you're not wasting bullets. The bullets are going to tear through anything that's in your way trying to stop you from getting a kill. So I would definitely recommend FMJ. The extended mags just aren't as... It's kind of one of those things where you get the FMJ and you're like, I can't wait to get extended mags, and then you miss FMJ once you've got the extended mags. The Rafika's a great secondary. Maybe try something else like the G18s could go well with it, or a shotgun AA-12, or a striker. Very much up to you. The AK is my scavenger assault rifle class usually though. Very good at distance, very good at close range, and the FMJ helps a lot. I usually go with the pistols as the sidearm because I've got the long range to medium range covered. They're just a last resort if I need my pistols. They come out incredibly quick. My next one is actually another scavenger assault rifle kit I go for, which is the Scar H with extended mags. I really recommend the extended mags on this gun, simply because of their small clip size. You can never really take more than 2 people out if you're not too confident with your shot. You can usually get up to 3. I've had a quad spray with this gun before, but it was incredibly lucky, and they were incredibly dumb and spawned and all lined up, and it was quite nice. So I would recommend the extended mags. It's very good. I recommend the scavenger for the Claymores as well, and the PP secondary silenced is good if you don't want to give away your position. You just want to get a cheeky kill on a guy who's not got a clue what you're doing. And finally, the one sniper class. I don't recommend ever having more than one sniper class. There's no need unless you're really MLG Pro, Grizz, Sniper, XX, Elite, No Scopes, Hacksaws. Just don't do it. I recommend FMJ. If you're playing on a map like Wasteland, obviously switch for a thermal. That's another cunt's trick, but at the end of the day, free kills are free kills, you know. Everyone else is going to be doing it, so why not do it yourself? I always go with the Rafika secondaries. They're great. They come out quick, very powerful and reliable with steady aim. At any range. The one problem with the sniper is simply it doesn't have the effectiveness at close range, but the Rafikas help make up for this, and the Barrett is much better than the Intervention simply because it has a base all around more bullets per magazine, and it's semi-automatic, so you can just spam it if you do get into a situation when you're caught out and you have to try and get the kill, and the steady aim also helps that. I also like steady aim if I'm doing a bit of quick scoping. It does help me line up my quick scopes. I'm not saying this has been a long age argument whether steady aim helps your quick scoping. I personally think it does, because it helps you line up your crosshairs a lot better and determine where the center of the screen is and get those quick scopes a lot easier, and I don't think anyone can really argue against that. I mean, a better, more experienced player can use Ninja. I recommend Ninja in something like Search, maybe even Team Deathmatch. If you are an experienced player, to get those quick scopes you won't really need steady aim. So it's pretty much up to you. I usually go with Claymore. There's no point in throwing knives, they're completely useless. There's no point. You might as well just use a Semtex or C4. I usually go with Claymores to watch my back. Even though I'm going to be running around half the time, I'll use them just to place a marker in a building that I know is going to be popular for people to camp in. So if they do go there, they can't get in, or I know where they are. So it's usually good. I hope you've enjoyed this. As I said, I will do this for Black Ops if I can, and I look forward to hearing your comments and thoughts about this. Leave any suggestions for classes for other people out there that might need some help. I will speak to you all later. Peace out.